Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ESSR draft selection show of 2025. I am your host, Stephen Wilson, and I'm joined for this, the first of this year's fantastic draft shows, with the man who has held Saturday Draft Live on his shoulders in recent weeks, whilst the rest of us have had, commitments with children, just disappeared and all that sort of thing. He has been there every Saturday to keep you up to date with what's going on. It is, of course, David Hockney. David, how are you?
Seriously, look at the size of my shoulders. And for those of you that don't know, in the past 2 months, I've been on a bit of a fitness regime, and I've just lost 6 kilos of dead weight carrying that whole season on my back the last time around. So no more dead weight, only bringing back the sheer muscle, and the Shawbank redemption is back for what it says on the tin, redemption.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, season 24 of this draft, so much has happened in the last 23 seasons. Unfortunately, we had some history in season 23 as the GOAT, David Campbell, got his historic 5th win in the draft. A very dominant victory for Mr. Campbell. He'll be on the stream later on to gloat about said victory. But yes, he managed to get the win. A Nia Jax inspired win. It ended up being at the Royal Rumble, Dave, just getting him over the line ahead of Dan Axel Jameson, who was very close to the repeat win for himself there. But yes, David will have the chance to defend his title, and this is the tag team season. The tag team season. Everybody loves a tag team season, no more than one man who Dave will talk about a bit later on. So the tag team season, it's the same as all of our other drafts, but instead of people drafting individually, we will be drafting in teams. The teams have not yet been officially announced, so I think this is a good time, David, that I will announce the teams, and some of these teams are absolute crackers. In no particular order, we have Matt Smith. He is teaming with Grant McRobbie, Dice and Vibes, a very interesting one there. We have myself teaming up with the returning one of our members of Saturday Draft Live. He'll be back on the Saturday Draft Live hopefully very soon, Dave, but it is Jack Graham.
Yeah, the perils of parenthood have caught up with him as well, so another good man down, but he's come back from the dead.
Yes, we hope to have Jack back on the Saturday Draft Live at some particular point in time. We've also got David. Obviously, he's defending his title. He's also teaming with a returning member of the draft in Ross McLeod. The return of Roscoe back from the dead, very sadly. Dear. If you could meet two egotistical men in wrestling, they are these two.
Roscoe's a major ghost of the past of the early days of ESSR as well, so watch out.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Two former Listeners League winners who have came up from there, Tom Brock and Gary Morris. Gary Kernahan will be teaming with Scott McLeod, a very potentially dark horse team with their ones. We have Elliot Cantor. He was one of our 2 Listeners League Cup winners over the weekend. He'll be teaming up with the queen of ESSR, Stacey Smith. That could be a very fun team, Dave.
That'll be one to watch. And it's good to see Stacey back as well, although I think if her drafting history is anything to go by, I just hope she's learned from her past mistakes and known not to pick her favourites over those that are going to get her points.
Some say Stacey's still shaking after the return of Nikki Bella this past Saturday.
Get your minds out of the gutter, by the way.
Shaking with because she loves Nikki Bella so much. We have yourself, Dave. You were kept on tender hooks as your partner was a mystery who had odd numbers in the draft. So I called upon an expert of the tag team season, a Listeners League competitor who's never quite had the luck when he's came up to the main draft, but he's got another chance in the tag season. It is, of course, Robert Shaw, your former partner.
Robert fucking Shaw. The Shawbank redemption is back. And we, like I said in the intro, we're back for redemption.
And the final team will be, of course, Dan Axel Jameson. He will be teaming up with the winner of last season's Listeners League, who also won the Listeners League Cup with one of the most spectacular final nights I have ever seen from a drafter, Dave, and Johnny Adam. Johnny had Cody Rhodes, Nia Jax, Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns, Bayley, and DIY in his team, which got him 104 points at the Royal Rumble.
Oh my God. That's like Nat Queen Cole levels of historic victory back in season 3. Like, and I said before on the season finale show, Johnny Adam was in the best position to win, even though he was only like a couple of points ahead of his closest competitor. But my God, he's absolutely blown out the water. Roman and Jacob getting 4 eliminations, Cody, DIY all winning, Nia Jax getting 9 eliminations. He absolutely cleaned house at the Rumble. He deserves that win.
For anybody who hadn't caught up with Dave's shows, Johnny went into the Royal Rumble with a 1-point lead. He ended up winning by 41 points.
Mental.
So there we go. And by winning both the Listeners' League and the Listeners' League Cup, it granted Johnny the chance to draft first in this draft, and him and Dan will be doing that momentarily. But before we get into the draft, just quickly for anybody who's not familiar with the draft first time, we'll just quickly go over the rules. Essentially, everybody will have to pick a team of 6. The team of 6 will have to consist of 1 tag team and then a 3-2 split of either of male and female wrestlers. So you could have 3 female, 2 male, 3 male, 2 female, whatever technology you want. You cannot pick backstage interviewers. You cannot pick commentators. You can only pick people who have an on-screen in-ring presence. So you can pick managers as well. You can pick managers with wrestlers. They are allowed. Of course, this runs into the Wrestlemania, so a few pay-per-views in there. Of course, we've got Elimination Chamber. We do have an AEW pay-per-view in there, and we've also got NXT Vengeance Day, which falls into the draft this time. We have a comment from my lovely tag team partner, Jack Graham. It's good to have him.
Yes. There he is.
So that is how this goes. Of course, we will also have a Listeners' League running in this team. So this is important for anybody who's not a drafter watching. The listeners, our picks will determine the pots for the Listeners' League. If you'd like to compete in the next Listeners' League, give us a message on our social medias and you can join that. And obviously the winners of the Listeners' League get to join our league for the season. If they win the league, they stay in it. Dave, enough chat. I think it's time that we get drafting.
Let's draft. Let's do it.
Right. So at this point, we're going to bring in our first drafter of the night. Representing him and Dan Axel Jameson's team, we do have Johnny Adam. Johnny, how are you?
All right, guys. Not bad yourself.
How do?
No pressure we put on you there, Johnny, with that Royal Rumble stats. But
no. So it was a bit of a lucky Royal Rumble, I'd say, to be honest with you, for me. I think Nia Jax done me quite well, and so did Roman Reigns. So
yeah, 2 title victories with Cody and DIY, the joint highest elimination bonuses with Fatu and Reigns, and then of course same for Jax. Absolutely dominant. So Johnny, what do you and Dan have for the first pick for yourselves and the first pick of our draft tonight?
We'll start off with my name first, and it will give you a wee Clint.
Excuse me?
I know. I hope he's only monetized in YouTube, or that's you gone straight away. Because that's
you're fine. Or you dropped an F-bomb.
So our name is Wrestlemania. So I think you can guess who our first is. Jey Uso.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, I think everybody, like, as soon as you see it's obviously Rumble to Mania, you're going to pick Jey Uso.
Yes, Jey Uso, the Royal Rumble winner, kicks off the draft. We'll go back to Johnny in a wee bit. Obviously, with the snake draft, he'll have to wait a wee while, Dave. But Jey Uso got to go with that one. It's a safe bet. A surprise Royal Rumble winner, but he should have a strong season.
Yeah, I agreed. The guy's over to fuck. And I kid you not, when I saw that result, my jaw hit the floor. I was not expecting that out of any left field, right field, or center field, anything. So, yeah, Jey Uso number 1 overall doesn't surprise me. I think Dan and Johnny have played the wisest move they could have.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and speaking of potentially wise moves, yourself, Dave, you're not a man familiar with doing that in the draft over history, but are you going to play a blinder here? Who are you and Robert Shaw drafting at number 1?
Well, Robert and I have a strategy this time around, and obviously Jey Uso was at the top of our list as well, so we're going with plan B. So, all bow down to the woo! Give us Charlotte Flair.
Absolutely no shock there. The Royal Rumble winners are always hot property in this tag team season. The two of them are off the board at 1 and 2. Charlotte Flair is. We don't know yet, Dave, who she's going to be facing. No. She said she's going to be on all the shows. She was on Raw. She was on NXT last night. Probably more likely that she will face Tiffany Stratton, but we will wait to see. Next up, we have Tom Brock and Gary Morris. So joining us all the way from the Netherlands without his camera is Mr. Tom Brock. Tom, how are you?
Hello. Yeah, sorry. The Dutch internet is so bad that my camera connection just hasn't gone through, if that's anything to go by. But yeah, it's good to be back. Still hurting from the captaincy change of last season's final week. But here we are, back again for another draft. Me and Gary have talked about this for a long time. And luckily, the person on top of our list has not been picked in the first 2 picks. We are going to go for Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Very wise.
Rhea Ripley is off the board. One of the women's champions in WWE. Dave won the title this season, with that win on the Netflix debut of Liv Morgan. Could be a hot property over the course of the next few weeks.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But one has to wonder, how much in-ring action is she going to experience between now, assuming she goes into WrestleMania as the champion. But I said with Robert, given what's happened on Raw, she could potentially have a midway feud with Io Sky at the Chamber, given what happened in the qualifiers. So maybe they'll get some much-needed points from Mami there.
Yeah, that could be very interesting. They would probably like to get some points. We're going to me and Jack next, and we're going to go for a pick. It might be in a similar situation. There was talk potentially that he got maybe had some sort of injury at the Rumble, but I don't know if I think that's more storyline. So we've got to go logical. We've got to pick WWE Universal Champion and Cody Rhodes here.
Okie dokie.
I think, given the facts that we have on the table, I think Cody Rhodes is the logical pick at this point in time.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either. He's much like Rhea Ripley. I think he's pretty much guaranteed to defend the title at WrestleMania. Whose opponent may be still up in the air, but he's all over the product in terms of appearance points. Might not get as many TV matches, but still a big scorer and very fitting of round 1 nonetheless. So,
and then we'll move on to Gary and Scott. Scott will be sending his pick in to yourself, David.
Yep, just waiting for him to.
Do you have anything yet? Of course, we are live.
Yes, he has.
All right, where you go?
Again, pretty bold, but it is his last. It is his last run as part of the main roster, and his name is John Cena.
It was a move. It didn't quite work out for Gary Morris in the previous season. Of course, Gary, for some reason, put the captaincy on Cena first and changed it midway through the season. But hey ho, we all have different strategies. But yeah, John Cena, he's already said he's going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. There's a good chance he'll do well in the Chamber match and potentially go on to WrestleMania. So I think, again, with the facts that we have on the table, Dave, it's not the worst pick in the world.
But he is currently in Hungary finishing a film up. So in terms of appearance points in the first few weeks, I reckon Cena's going to be a bit of a slow burner here.
Yep, that remains to be seen. But yes, John Cena in round 1. We're going to go to Elliot and Stacey. I have given them the nudge. Elliot and Stacey are not
I've
fully
got
watching.
Elliot's first pick.
Oh, great. It's on the board.
Yeah, he's right on it. He's on standby. And get ready to meet the cult of personality. Stacey and Elliot pick CM Punk.
Oh, very interesting one off the board early on. CM Punk. His WrestleMania destination seems to be laid down. Looks like the cards have been put down for a triple threat between him and 2/3 of the Shield. What we get with Punk between now and then remains to be seen. He is in the Elimination Chamber match, though, still, Dave. So there is seems of doubt about that triple threat, but
always points to be had in the Chamber.
Yes, of course, the Elimination Chamber works out that the eliminations count as pins. So we had the situation a few years ago where Shayna Baszler run through everybody in the Chamber match, got 5 wins.
And Scott had the captaincy on her as well. He just won
Yes.
that season purely from Shayna Baszler.
So, of course, the chamber does take effect on that one. We have Matt Smith and Grant McRobbie's team next. Dave.
Dyson vibes.
Dyson vibes. There's some interesting ones in this list, Dave. You might find this out later on. However, thankfully, their top pick of their selection is a sensible one. I mentioned the match that CM Punk's rumored to be in, and they've got one of the other people rumored to be in that match. Seth freaking Rollins.
Very good.
He is on their team. Again, a very sensible pick at this particular point.
Yeah, everybody's got their heads on here. Everybody's getting some top tier main event level talent, and they're taking WrestleMania into consideration. So I like the way this is going.
I mean, speaking of main event talent, we've got a man coming up on screen now who considers himself the main event talent. We go to the team of Goat and Ross McLeod, and obviously representing them,
Roscoe.
Mr. David Campbell.
Hey, hello everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to the David Campbell Show. Signed a big money contract with Roscoe. Have returned 5 titles, 1 Listeners League, and only 1 true GOAT. That is me. Now, Dave, do you think that I am going to be the first person to win back-to-back seasons?
No.
Watch me, because my pick is the ever faithful, the winner of the Women's Elimination Chamber, Liv Morgan. And since Ross is the smartest man in wrestling for bringing me in, our number 2 pick is the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Enjoy your night, fellas. Enjoy some Goat Meisters on me.
Goat DiBiase right there, just enjoying himself there, isn't he?
I mean, he's dressed like the Riddler and he's acting like a villain. What can you say? What can you say?
Rhymes with Riddler.
We know David likes to, he's got his fateful picks, and looks like Liv Morgan seems to be one at the moment. Helped play a big part in his victory there, Dave. And Bianca Belair, I think, is a very smart pick. Probably an outside shout for the chamber if she gets in.
Couple of good female picks off the board as well. Liv Morgan was a huge anchor for Team GOAT last season, and it's I'm just wondering though, I hope this obsession with single performers that do well for his team this season, I just hope this doesn't come back to bite him, because I have a feeling the Liv Morgan pick just might do this season.
Now we go back to Matt and Grant again. We're hoping for some vibes, we're hoping for some chaos. We've not quite got it yet, but one thing we do have, Dave, is Zero, Nero, Penta is off the board.
Round 2 as well.
Round 2 for Penta.
That's bold. But to be fair, he gets really good matches on Raw. He's getting featured a lot, appearances, and if he keeps that undefeated streak going, I think this could be a dark horse in terms of scoring for vibes and dice. This is interesting. I
mean, of course, their draft is unpredictable. They don't know what they're getting, who they're going to get, where and then. But to have Rollins and Penta round 1 and 2, it could be a lot worse. But the great thing about the dice is the picks get a bit weirder as we get further down. So we could see some absolute chaos on that front. Are we getting any chaos from Stacey and Elliot?
Nothing
Dave?
yet, but Scott's kind of jumping the gun a little bit. So I guess his next pick is determined on whether or not, dependent on who Elliot and Stacey pick for this next one.
It's very interesting. There's some good picks in there. Well, if you are watching us, please make sure to comment on YouTube, and we'll get the comments up on the stream.
Tom says all hail the GOAT in the group chat, in the private chat that we see here. So this is why people are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
Wow,
that sounded way better in my head.
Bit harsh.
Here we go. Elliot's got it.
Let's go. What's he got?
Ooh, again, bold pick here, but she came back at the Rumble, and she's back in the draft. It is Little Miss Alexa Bliss.
Oh, I was hoping she was going to fall low. No,
I was the same about Penta, to be fair. I was hoping people would save him for later rounds, but
I thought the same about Penta, but obviously I had Grant's draft list, so I knew what was going on with that one. But yeah, Alexa Bliss, PW Insider reporting tonight that creative has been structured for Alexa Bliss on the SmackDown brand, Dave. So of course we know who's been traded to the SmackDown brand, the Wyatt Six. So that could be something there for Alexa Bliss going forward.
We get this spooky bitch Alexa again.
But Dave, I see that you have put Scott's pick already in the draft sheet. Could you inform the viewers who Scott has went for?
Yeah, Scott kind of jumped the gun a little bit before Elliot got his next round pick in for him and Stacey. But Scott wanting a role model in his team, and now he's got two. First was John Cena. Second is Bayley.
Bayley is a very interesting pick. Bayley currently is on 2 shows. She's on Raw, she's on NXT. She has a title match at NXT Vengeance Day, a triple threat match on that particular show. But Vengeance Day is next week, so could be some short-term extra points, but I can get if that's the strategy he's got going for right now.
All right, you and Jack are next.
Oh, me and Jack have our pick already well sorted, Dave. I was talking about the triple threat match at NXT Vengeance Day. Let's pick the champion in that particular match. We are going for the NXT Women's Champion, Julia.
Oh, damn it!
Get in.
I was waiting for that one.
Julia is off the board.
Damn it!
She's been a strong pick. She's been on Grant McRobbie's last 2 teams. She's always came very highly on the dice with Grant. It's been very good to be able to get the chance to draft Julia. I think Matt had her the season before she debuted, but since she's came in, she's been very hard to get. So Julia is on the team of myself and Jack. We go back into the studio now, Dave, and back to the Netherlands with Tom Brock. Tom, how are you?
You're on mute.
No, he's on mute. I will.
Sorry. I was still very much in discussion with Gary on who to pick for round 2. And we are gonna go for the other side of the spectrum and gonna dip into AEW. And pick the AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley.
Number 1 overall last time as well.
The first
moved to round 2.
The first AEW pick off the board, Dave. I think that kind of sums up the state of AEW right now, that they've not been completely under any sort of consideration. But Mox is there. Whatever you think about the Death Riders angle, he's on TV a lot, so it's not the worst pick to go for.
Yeah, not at all. You know, he's firmly in AEW's main program with the Death Riders. He's got some good opposition. There's AEW pay-per-views coming up as well. Could we see a title defense? Certainly. Moxley, definitely one of the stronger scorers last season as well. So not too far out there with Tom and Gary's pick there. But, me and Robert's plan is working very well right now because we already have our next one lined up. And I'm so glad that you picked Julia, Stevie, because we're also dipping into that pool, but we're going to the other side. And we're taking the NXT champion, Obafemi.
Oh, you dirty motherfuckers.
That's who I wanted. That's exactly who I was after. And I'm so glad we got him.
There's a lot of picks going in round 2 here that I thought we're going to go slip to round 4, round 5. This is very interesting, especially with such a small field. Yes. Obafemi. He has it's a triple threat match. He's got a Vengeance Day with A-Town Down Under.
Yeah, Vengeance Day triple threat with A-Town Down Under, and don't forget NXT Stand and Deliver the night before WrestleMania. So we could see 2 big title defenses for Big Oba.
That is very interesting. Obafemi not picked last season when he won the NXT title. Dave's making sure, and Robert, of course, are making sure that mistake is not repeated again. Obafemi is off the board. We now go back to the team of Dan Axel Jameson and Johnny Adam with Johnny. Johnny, you have got 2 picks back to back. Who are you going to go for here?
Yes, we are going with AEW right now, and our first pick is Toni Storm.
Oh, you bastard.
Timeless Toni Storm. Well, she's timeless again.
Yeah.
She's got over her amnesia, and she has been picked there. She's got a match with Mariah May coming up. And who have you got as your round 3 pick?
And we're getting our tag team out the way there now. We are going with Lashley and Shelton, Hut Syndicate. getting them out of the way.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice pick there. The AEW Tag Team Champions off the board, Dave. Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are consistently on TV as well. The AEW tag titles haven't been very well used in recent weeks and months, but Johnny and Darren will be hoping that changes here.
Yeah, they've really done their homework here. They've delved into the AEW pool, and they've got probably the most over guy on the roster at the minute. So it's an excellent start for Team Yeatlemania.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand why David Campbell sees Dan as a bit of a foe, given his comments, and I don't think adding Johnny to the mix is really going to make David very happy. We'll find that out in about 10 minutes when David comes back. Anyway, enough of that, David. Back to you, David. What have you and Robert Shaw got in plan here?
Well, Robert was very keen to get this guy on our team, so we've already got the woo. Now give us the ow! Give us the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu.
Another one I was hoping was going to slip a wee bit down. Jacob Fatu, an excellent Royal Rumble for him. He got the joint most eliminations in that particular match. He seems to be a very, very hot commodity. There's a lot of people talking that he should have won the Royal Rumble match. So yes, I don't know where the that stable are going to go going forward. But yes, I think that's a fantastic pick from you and Robert. Definitely having a much better draft here. You seem to draft a lot better, Dave, and Robert's there. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? If there's anything I've learned in the last 2 months over the last season, it's always good to put my thoughts on paper because it gives me a much clearer way of thinking.
I mean, Robert gave David a bit of a motivational speech in our draft chat a few weeks ago, and Dave has taken it on board. We now go back to Mr. Brock, representing him, and Gary Morris. Tom,
Yes.
What's your thoughts here?
Our thoughts were either Jacob Fatu or the person we are picking right now, who also did well in the Royal Rumble. We are gonna pick Nia Jax.
Ooh. That's
Nia
two women
Jax
for Tom and Gary.
That is a very interesting one for sure there. Nia Jax helped to win that particular match, season, for David Campbell, as I mentioned, with 9 eliminations in the Royal Rumble. So we're going to go now to myself and Jack. Dave, we're just having a quick bit between the two. We're quite torn on 2 of them. We'll just be quickly...
Yeah, I'm just going to switch off for a bit. Our next pick's quite a while away.
Right, we're between 2. We're going to go bold. We're going to go for a tag team. We're making the tag team choice based on what we think is going to happen towards at Mania at the end of the season. We are going for Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, very good choice, I would say. SmackDown's tag team scene's been pretty hot right now. We had an excellent 2 out of 3 falls between them and DIY. Depending where the tag title scene's going, and if they're going to do the same formula as prior years, I think Motor City Machine Guns is a pretty safe bet, given that they've had three TV wins last season, and it was only a very short season. So expecting them to get some more wins under their belt.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll now go to Scott, who's representing him and Gary. Has he got his pick in yet, Dave?
He's sending it in just now, so should be getting it shortly.
A very solid draft at the moment. There's a lot.
I'm loving it. Yeah,
so far, but a lot of really, really top picks.
I'm just waiting for the dice to betray Matt and Grant. But fair play, the dice has been doing favor. And speaking of the hottest tag team division in the WWE at the minute, Scott and Gary take DIY.
Me and Jack were between the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. We were really, really torn between the two of them, and we went with the Guns because we thought they would have more in the long run of the season as opposed to DIY. But yeah, very, very good pick on the board. Obviously, WWE, one of the tag team champions there, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, on a roll since they turned heel in the last few months. We now go on to Elliot and Stacey. I wonder what they got in plan. There's a lot of unhappy people in the group chat at the moment. So the draft is definitely going as planned.
Yeah, Goat saying he's ready to walk. He's wanted Alexa, Bailey, and Nia. So all of them off the board so far in rounds 2 and 3. He must be livid right now. Oh, hello. Very interesting. It's a tag team pick, but it's one we've not seen in a particularly long time. Stacey and Elliot take the team of Roman Reigns and the wise man, Paul Heyman.
Classic pick of the draft, that one. Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns back together again and back in the draft. All the throwbacks, as David's mentioned in the group chat, happening in this season. And we're only one day in. Such drama.
Tell me about it. Although Roman Reigns has been ruled out indefinitely. I don't know if that's kayfabe or not, but I don't know. It is risky at this stage, but I think they can't have WrestleMania without Roman Reigns for sure.
Everything's risky at this stage. We've only seen half the week of programming. We've got to go with our guts on a lot of stuff. And Elliot and Stacey have went with it with this particular pick. We now go to the dice and vibes.
Yes.
They'll be rounding off their male picks already.
Really?
They are going for the man who this past Saturday was truly believing in everything he's seen. No, they're not picking Joe Hendry. They are picking the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Damn it. I was hoping he would slip further down, but fair play. They've Robert and I were banking on that one, actually, sneak a cheeky Intercontinental title win potentially at WrestleMania, but no, Matt and Grant have got ahead of us on that one.
Yes, and unfortunately, we need to go back.
I bet someone's going to be human in the chat. Yeah, there he is.
This was all a red herring. First of all, you say Dan Axel's a rival. He thinks that he's me if I took the substance. What really he is to me is that bitch who tried to replace Sharpay in High School Musical 3. That is what Dan Axel Jameson is in this draft. I was playing you all. I was acting. My first pick is someone who has been an underrated member of my team before and won me drafts. I can't believe he keeps going this low. I'm taking Damian Priest for Roscoe. But also, when me and Tom Brock won the tag season a few years ago, it's because people kept letting really strong women's picks slip really far down. So I can't believe I'm saying this. In round 4, I am taking the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton.
Ooh, damn.
Do better.
Very interesting. I clicked the wrong button when I tried to remove David. Tiffany Stratton, he preached this in the last draft, Dave. There was a lot of really strong picks that fell low. Tiffany in round 4, can't really argue.
I don't think there's a lot of confidence with Tiffany Stratton. I think she could potentially drop the title at Mania, but I mean, it's still difficult. Like you said, it's difficult to say where it's going to go, but Tiffany going round 4, that is a bit of a surprise.
The thing you've got to say is if you've got, if I can get my words out here, if you've got champions still on the board and you need to take a bold risk, especially when you go 4, 5, 6, you can't go any harder going for a champion because they will get you points. Right, what's happening with these two?
Yeah. Somebody roll a dice, please.
So they've picked all their males, so I need to find either the first female or
we
the
need
first
2 females
tag
and a tag team.
Oh, I tell you what, they are getting a lot of luck with this draft, Dave. They are picking a woman. She's been so successful for the last year or so. So she was very successful on Saturday to a point. She is the record holder from the Women's Royal Rumble, the prodigy, Roxanne Perez.
Interesting. Like, her name has come up a couple of times, given that she was the Iron Woman. So I think we could expect great things from Roxanne Perez. Will it be this season? Remains to be seen, but I think we could potentially see something special out of Roxanne in future seasons, if not maybe even this season, because we've got 2 NXT pay-per-views to look forward to.
Yes, she is the third woman in the triple threat match that we mentioned earlier on with Julia and Bayley. She looks destined for the main roster. It's just a question of when. Anyway, we'll now go back to Elliot and Stacey. David, I wonder what they've got in store. They threw out a curveball and a blast from the past, and Heyman and Reigns in the last round. What have they got in store?
Yeah. So, still waiting for Elliot to send in his pick, but yeah, I think I'm just checking my chat with Robert. I think he's starting to worry a little bit. All right. It's been a clean draft so far, but Stacey and Elliot have just made this very dirty. So he's taking dirty Dominic Mysterio.
A great pick. A great pick. Dom is he's WWE's version of Orange Cassidy in a completely different, type of way. The fact he's always guaranteed to get some points. Doesn't win a lot, but he's always on TV and he's always appearing all the time. So yes, in round 4, Dom, fantastic pick in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Gary and Scott are back at it again. They are taking my round 1 pick from last season. He's dropped all the way to round 4 this time. The Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker.
Oh, I was hoping he was going to fall a wee bit. Braun Breaker, another fantastic pick there. Near enough killed a TikToker at the weekend.
Killed's an understatement. He basically broke him in half.
Oh, yeah. He 4 eliminations in the Royal Rumble. Fantastic show.
Yeah.
Eliminated by Roman Reigns.
I thought the spear on Ludwig Kaiser at Survivor Series was rough, but holy moly, ISO speed is he's like the size of a hobbit, and he just got wrecked by this steam train of a man.
I mean, what can you say? The one he does on Reigns is pretty good as well, but we're digressing. We're not going to talk about the Rumble. We're going to talk about picks. I mentioned a few minutes ago why when you get to this stage of the draft, when there's a champion on the board, you could go worse places and take it. So me and Jack are going to go with the WWE Women's United States Champion. Say it with me.
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green is on our team. I really hate saying that. I do not like saying it that way.
You don't do it justice.
I do not. This is why I do not want to say it.
That's why only I should say it. Anywho, Tom and Gary, back to them.
Hello.
Yo.
It's me back in the darkness that is my screen.
Gimmick infringement.
Sorry?
Gimmick infringement.
Anyway, me and Gary have picked the genius of the sky, Io Sky.
Okay, there we go. That's 3 women for Tom and Gary. So we need a male and a tag team for them.
3 women
Next.
for Tom and Gary, said no one ever. But yeah, a very, very good pick. I think Io seems to be a solid position at the moment on Raw. She lasted a long time in the Royal Rumble this past weekend, starting from number 1. And as you mentioned, Dave, she could be going into something with Rhea Ripley going to the Chamber. Remains to be seen. But let's see what you and Mr. Shaw have in store. You say Robert's a bit worried. I mean, what are you worried about?
Well, there is one guy that's made it very, very far down the table. I think, you know what? I think we're going to do it. He's not been picked yet, but we'll take him. The World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther.
Oh, the amount of champions that fell to round 4. Gunther, it shows the confidence in how that match is going to go at WrestleMania. I believe it's going to be Jey Uso. Jey Uso's pretty much spoiled it himself that he's going to be in that one. Gunther is off the board. Now,
can you imagine if we get a repeat of Mania 39?
That would be something. We're going to go back now to Johnny Adam, who's got him and Dan Axel's next pick. Johnny, what have you got?
I have Kevin Owens.
Ooh. Back a lot sooner than I expected as well. I wasn't expecting him to come back for a good while after taking that hell of a bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. And your 5th round pick?
We are going with AEW again, Okada.
Ooh, yeah. The top scorer from last season as well. And I promise you I will spell his name right.
Okada is off the board. And of course, so is Kevin Owens attacking Sami Zayn on Raw this past week. Looks like the two are going to be back in a feud. Have I spoiled anything for there, Dave? Are you going along that path? Or?
No. So far, so good. We've got a choice of a few here. We've got a choice of, at least 4 or 5 to choose from. And don't hate me for this, Robert, but I think we're going to go with our first on that list. So we're going to take the women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria.
These are buggers. I was just going to pick her.
Well, she does have a defense. I think she's got a scheduled defense coming up against Ivy Niles, so we could have her first title defense on the board for Lyra. Hopefully, no wardrobe malfunctions this time.
Poor Lyra. Don't put her down like that.
No. We're just making fun of an unfortunate situation.
Right, so we now go back to Tom. Tom, you need to go back to you. Either
Hello.
male or a tag team here.
Yeah, we're still debating about that one right now because but never mind, they've been picked. Then it's quite an easy decision for us. We are gonna go with Sami Zayn.
Ooh. Even though he's literally just been taken out by a package pile driver.
I mean, we never know. Kevin Owens got taken out by a Alabama Slammer on a lad and returned the next 2 nights later.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a Mania feud locked in, Dave. You know.
Suppose
Can't
so,
really
yeah. Can't argue with that.
And of course, Elimination Chambers in Canada. I can't see him not being in Canada in some way, even though he's not in the chamber match.
Mm-hmm.
What he's going to do, he's probably just going to have some angle with Kevin Owens. He'll probably come back at the chamber if he's out, but a very interesting one. Now, you two picked my shot, me and Jack's pick, so we're going to have to go with a backup choice, but it's
I
a
love
very
fucking
good
people over.
It's a very good backup choice. I feel like I'm picking a lot of the people I picked last season, but it seems to fall into place. We're picking one half, the other half of the women's tag team champions. Feel the glow. It's Naomi.
Yeah, there we go. I was hoping was wondering when she would get off the board.
Mm-hmm. She has been picked in round 5 by us. So that now puts it to Tom and Gary. Dave.
No, Scott and Gary.
Scott and Gary, sorry. Sorry.
Yep, just waiting on Scott. He's sending it through now. So far, they can choose a man or a woman for this next one. They're not under any obligations. So they're going with the woman who could be the next NXT Women's North American Champion. They take Stephanie Vacker.
Stephanie Vacker, a very impressive showing in the Women's Royal Rumble at the weekend. Of course, she's going into that feud with Fallon Handley. I think it's a foregone conclusion. She wins the title. It's just a question of when she wins the title. Very good pick in round 5 of Stephanie Vacker. Now we're going to go to Stacey and Elliot. Dave, drafting very well so far. What have they got in store for us now?
Just waiting for Elliot to... I don't know if he's even aware that it's his... Oh, no, he's aware, yeah. He's just... I think he's just taking his time with this one because, it's round 5 and 6. This is where you think this could be where we get some cheeky hidden points. Come on, Elliot. We haven't got all day. Now, just FYI, Robert and I need to pick a tag team for our last pick. All we've done is pick solo people. But the good news is we compiled the list of all the tag teams available.
We still have a few people to pick tag teams. Matt and Grant need to pick a tag team. Goat and Ross need to pick a tag team. Tom and Gary also need to pick a tag team. So still about half the board. Half the board still need to pick tag teams.
Oh, here we go. Elliot's got it now. Again, someone main event level talent all fell all the way down to round 5. He takes the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre.
Yes, I think part of the reason Drew's fell down is because, of course, the rumours from the Royal Rumble that he was very unhappy with how his elimination went down. He looks like he's going into a feud with Damian Priest, although they could very plausibly put him in one with LA Knight, given what apparently Drew fought after the Rumble. But yeah, Drew McIntyre in round 5. Former world champion, can't go wrong. He's had a great year. It's worst pitch you could pick in round 5. Right, let's go to the vibes.
And the dice.
Right, they finally had a pick that's a bit questionable.
Oh, thank God.
It's taken this
I
long.
was hoping it would come up.
So, you know how WWE and TNA now have a relationship?
Oh, no. He's
TNA
picked
talent.
They picked TNA talent, haven't they?
A TNA talent can jump to, WWE at some point, and the tag team that they've picked, although they've been on WWE, they've been on AEW, they've been on TNA, they're currently on TNA. One of the greatest tag teams of all time, Dave. It's Matt and Jeff, the Hardys.
That's very, very interesting.
Are they the AEW? Are they the TNA tag champs? I have no idea.
They are.
They have a match coming up on TNA and on Impact against Fraxium, which obviously doesn't count towards draft points. But they were on WWE's. They were on WWE's YouTube page this past week doing a perspective show.
Maybe they know something we don't.
It could be a lot worse for them. Now we throw back to Mr. David Campbell, who has his round 5 and 6 picks to give us.
We only have to see him once more.
Hello, Ross is paid for Pyro. The Roscoe credit card is alive and well. Listen, we have had our marketing department run the numbers. So this is a very much Moneyball rounds 5 and 6. These two are the last highest scoring picks left on the board. Our tag team is the ever consistent FTR in round 5. And we are taking the SmackDown general manager, Nick Aldis, in round 6. I will take my back-to-back title, and I will see you at the end of the season, boys. Good luck.
We'll come back to David towards the end of the show to ask him about his captaincy as well. So don't go anywhere yet, David. But Dave, I'm questioning a few things on that one. Not his picks.
Yeah.
One, that Roscoe has a functioning credit card. And, two, that MD and Roscoe's ever looked at the numbers, but in all seriousness, FTR, they're on TV pretty much twice a week, really, at the moment, with this kind of feud with the Death Riders. I think there's worse tag teams that they could have picked.
Yep. We certainly had them in consideration.
And a general manager, we've seen the effect of having a general manager.
Yeah, general managers are up for grabs, just in case you need, in case you're struggling for round 6 pick. Oh, and Matt and Grant need to pick a woman for their last pick.
Yes, bear with me. I was consulting with my tag team partner there. Let's see what they have. There is a woman on the list. That's good.
That's good.
Whether it's a good one or not, I'm not 100% sure.
It's not like Masha Slamovich, is it?
No, it's a WWE talent.
Okay, so they've not entirely messed up.
Nope. Recently moved across to SmackDown. Formerly a member of the LWO, Zelina Vega.
Very interesting. Well, if a certain someone is supposed to be making his way back to SmackDown, I think this pick does make sense. I'm wondering if they're trying to predict if a certain someone is going to come back before Mania season.
That is maybe what they're going with, but it's really just the dice with them. So
you can never trust the dice. Anyway, Stacey and Elliot, it's your last pick, and you guys need a female.
A female pick.
So I've just said to Elliot, female, please.
Let me. I don't think you should message somebody. I don't think you should message somebody saying female, please.
Yeah, that sounded a bit dodgy. I mean, it's not like Elliot's got like a secret life as a pimp or anything.
I mean, have you met Elliot? I wouldn't rule it
out. Okay, right. He's messaging me. He and Stacey will go with. Drum roll, please. Come on, Elliot. Don't keep us waiting here. Remember, it's a female, so if you send a male pick in, I'm going to be... It'll be like when Matt Smith picked The Fiend a few seasons ago. Just FYI as well, Gary and Scott can choose a male or a female for their last round. Stevie, you and Jack can... You guys have to take a male because you've got 3 women.
Yeah.
Tom and Gary have to pick a tag team. Robert and I need to pick a tag team. And Dan and Johnny have to choose a woman. So it's all females and tag teams. Except for you guys, where you guys need a male. Okay. And Stacey and Elliot are rounding off things strong with the AEW Women's World Champion, Mariah May.
Mariah May. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Again, you know, a champion pushed all the way down to round 6, but I think for good reason, because Grand Slam is in Australia this year, and I can see why Dan and Johnny saved Tony Storm for round 2. I think we could see a dethroning in Australia.
Australian pay-per-view that's been nothing but a disaster. Let's see how that goes.
Ooh, Scott and Gary are a couple of cheeky little slags because their round 6 pick, again, a top-class talent, has been left until round 6. They're taking the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay.
Yeah, absolutely. Shivers.
What a way to finish, though. I mean, I think, you know, he's been left off the board quite a lot. There's been a lot of lenience towards WWE picks, given it's now WrestleMania season. But you cannot disregard, you know, arguably the best on the AEW roster at the minute. Getting Will Ospreay off the board, guys, World Championship material. I think that could be a very good round 6 finish.
We've got to think that Elliot and Stacey did not pick Nikki Bella. That is the true travesty.
Yeah, that's the biggest surprise. Yeah, Stacey didn't convince Elliot to choose Nikki Bella.
Right. So is it now back to myself and Jack? I think we're
Yes.
deliberating quickly on 2 potential picks. I'm just waiting on Mr. Graham to read my messages, and we can decide who we're going with between 2. Between 2, we're trying not to. We hopefully won't waste too much time. Right, he is good with what I'm going to pick. We were between 2, but we're going to go for 1. We are going to go with the Don, the NXT North American champion, Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D. Yes.
Time he got some props in this draft.
Some guys, you know, who have been left off the draft for so long, and he's finally getting his due. The NXT North American champion set to defend the title against Ridge Holland in a steel cage match next week. So not quite Vengeance Day points, but title points nonetheless. This could be a good surge for Steven and Jack. So that's you got Julia and Tony D from NXT.
Me and Jack couldn't remember if he had a title defense or not. So thank you, Dave. You've really made our day.
Well, like I said, you know, we only report in facts here.
You know what's going to make my day? Hearing Tom Brock's voice once again. Tom,
and remember, you guys need a tag team. Remember,
you flatter me. We're still. It's still a bit of a struggle because we're torn between 2 teams. And I'm gonna ask Gary right now to either pick our WWE choice or our AEW choice.
Ooh.
Because I'm not sure of the decision. I'm gonna leave it up to him. So he's typing right now, building up the suspense. He says, "Let's go AEW." Then we will be picking Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta.
There we go.
That's a good pick, Dave. They're on TV all the time. They don't win very much, but they're always on TV.
Oh, yeah. Like, appearance points wise, I think Claudio was one of the top scorers from AEW alone. So it's 2/3 of the trios champions as well, firmly in the Death Rider storyline. I think those were a tag team that was still up for grabs. And the trios titles have performed well in the past. Just look at the Acclaimed. Robert saying flip a coin for our last pick, but I don't have a coin on me. Everything's digital.
I think you're spoiled for choice, Dave.
For sure.
For this tag team. There's a couple that spring to mind for me instantly.
Yeah, I think, you know what? There's still a couple of good teams that have been left off the board, and I think we could get some very interesting matches out of this one. So, yeah, okay, I've sort of found a coin, so let's just do that.
You've sort of found the coin. Either you found the coin or you've not found the coin.
Well, it was a 1 pence, so it wasn't ideal.
Still a coin.
Okay. All right. We'll go with the Raw Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders.
I'm assuming the other one was the Street Profits.
No, the other one was the New Day.
Ooh, very interesting. I can afford to say this because I know we need to have a female pick from our last pick. But yes, that is a very interesting one. The War Raiders Tag Team Champions on Raw.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a feud with American Made coming up as well.
Now, we're going to throw in a minute back to Johnny for him and Dan's last pick. Now, when I get to Johnny, I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to go back around everybody. We're going to get team names and captains as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Johnny, if you could give me yourself and Dan's last pick, your team name and your captain, please.
I'm just texting Dan now because we've not picked the captain. Let's see. So, our last pick was in our top 5 females, Mercedes Money.
There we go.
That is a smart pick. She's defending that belt very regularly at the moment on AEW TV.
And she just attacked the women's champion, so you could see a wee feud there as well.
Very, very interesting. So, yes, team name. What's your team name while we wait on your captain?
Yito Mania.
Yep. Yito Mania. Love it.
And obviously, when Stan gets back to you, we can get your captain.
Yep, he's not even read it yet, so I don't know how long it's because he is working in now and he's not been on in the last 5 minutes. So,
well, if you don't think he's going to be on, just let us know, Johnny, when he sent it, just to so we don't hold you up too much, and we can get that. So just send it to me or Dave, and we'll get that on.
No problem.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. So yes, Yito Mania, we will get Johnny's captain at some point.
Love the play on words.
We'll definitely have it before the show at the weekend. Dave, of course, let me quickly round off Johnny's team there for in case anybody wants a round up. They've got him and Dan have Jey Uso, Tony Storm, the Hurt Syndicate, Kevin Owens, Kazuchika Okada, and Mercedes Moné. Dave, yourself and Robert Shaw, Charlotte Flair,
Obafemi, Jacob Fatu, Gunther, Lyra Valkyria, and the War Raiders. And we are the Shawbank Redemption with our team captain, Charlotte Flair. Woo!
That was eerie that my headphones while you were talking went battery low. And it really made things a bit eerie when you were saying
I hate that. I hate when that happens.
We'll throw back to Tom in a minute, but first of all, his team, him and Gary's team, Rhea Ripley, John Moxley, Nia Jax, Io Sky, Sami Zayn, and the Death Riders. Tom, team name and captain, please.
Hello. For the last time today, our team name will be the Brock and Roll Express.
Yay!
And our captain will be Rhea Ripley.
Rhea bloody Ripley.
Thanks for the show, lads.
Amazing, Tom. Thank you very much, sir. Tom, all the way from beautiful Holland there. Myself and Jack Graham now, Dave. We've got Cody Rhodes, Julia,
Machine Guns, Chelsea Green, Naomi, and Tony D'Angelo.
Yes, I've got an echo here. Thank you very much.
I thought we were just taking it in turns reading team names.
We'll do that now. We'll do that.
Fair enough.
Our captain will, of course, be Cody Rhodes. And our team name is Two Dads in a Draft.
Two dads and a draft?
Two dads in a draft team.
Got it. Two dads in a draft. All right. Gary and Scott, well, firstly, their team name can go fuck themselves because it's pure on gimmick infringement. Their team name is Men on a Mission 3000. And they're actually going to put the captaincy on Will Ospreay.
Interesting. So to round off their team, it's John Cena, Bayley, DIY, Braun Breaker, Stephanie Vaquer, and Will Ospreay. Apologies if I look apologies, Dave, if I look blank at the screen at any points. The battery and these things are about to
Oh,
run out. But yes,
got a message from Johnny, actually. Johnny says, Jey Uso is their team captain.
Very interesting. Now we have the team of Stacey Smith and Elliot Cantor. Dave, fire away.
So they've gone with, so their team is CM Punk, Alexa Bliss, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, and Mariah May. Their team captain is CM Punk, and their team name is You Can Look, But You Can't Touch.
They had to get that in there, didn't they? They had to get some reference to the Bellas in there. You can look, but you can't touch.
And we keep dreaming on the stars above.
We do indeed. We do indeed. Nikki Bella, apparently, I recently learned, was in the third season of the US Traitors. Or is in this third season of the US Traitors.
I have heard that too. Wasn't she a judge on America's Got Talent as well?
I have no idea, Dave. I do not watch anything like that. Anyway, let's go.
Kind of ironic, actually. Nikki Bella judging talent.
Anyway, let's go back to Matt and Grant's team. They have Seth Rollins, Penta, Sheamus, Roxanne Perez, the Hardy Boys, and Zelina Vega. Their captain will be Seth Rollins. And their team name is Dyson Vibes, the Not Quite Step Brothers Experience.
Oh gosh, I'm just going to type Tyson Vibes.
I'll copy and paste it from this.
Thank
Facebook
you. Yeah, I'm not writing. It's like trying to write the full title of Borat.
Dave, can you go through Goat and Ross's team before we bring David back on the screen?
Yeah, so we have the Goat, David Campbell, and Ross McLeod. They have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Damian Priest, Tiffany Stratton, FTR, and Nick Aldis.
David, who's your captain for us?
Well, we will be lodging an official HR complaint at the offices in Roscoe for Dave's Nikki Bella slander. It will not stand. Roscoe is the team name. Unfortunately, we do not have a captain. It's not a position within the Roscoe Corporation. However, we would like to take this opportunity to announce we are promoting Liv Morgan to the position of team leader. Congratulations to Liv, and we're very happy to have you as part of the Roscoe family.
How PC of you, David. Thank you again for joining us on the draft tonight, Mr. Campbell, our reigning defending champion. And with that, Dave, another draft is finito. Another draft is out the way. One of the most solid fields that we think we've ever had.
One last thing to say before we go. David Campbell, I don't know if you paid attention to last season's finale, because you clearly didn't. I said, if you were confident that you were going to win last season, you would take me under the learning tree. And you pussied out. So if anything, what does that say about you? I was open to learning under the learning tree. You denied me. So what does that make you? And you know what? Shawbank Redemption is going to do exactly what it says. We came in with a plan. We're coming for redemption, and we're going to make sure we're going to do everything within our power to make sure that Roscoe dies a miserable existence.
I mean, I'm going to fuck things up. David's still in the studio. I'll let him reply to that.
So I can't pick my partner. So
you did it before.
Yeah,
does Goat Tones ring a bell?
I know that you don't understand the rules of the draft. That is very clear from listening to Saturday Draft Live on a weekly basis. I am allowed to retain a partner if I win with them, but I cannot pick a partner, David. Now, if you would like to lodge an official complaint, I can give you the Roscoe HR department's email address. But if that is all, I am going to get to my bed. I start at 9 tomorrow. Me and Ross have morning meetings. So if that is all.
9 a.m. starts are child's play.
I love how he's got to bed at 9 for a 9 start. I could have said like 5.
I mean, who do you think he is? Jack Graham? Yep, geez. I'm going to ruffle everybody's feathers this season. Fuck you, Scotty. Tell you what, the Listeners League can, I'm tempted to say something, but I think I could get cancelled for it.
Scotty's not even in the Listeners League. He's just a very loyal supporter, Mr. Scott Mackay. Thank you very much. And on that note, we will wrap up this draft selection show here on Eat Sleep Suplex Retweet. It's been a pleasure once again. Some of our team, we're not sure who of ourselves and Scott McLeod will be on Saturday, but regardless, we'll be running through all the picks that we've seen. We've not done the analysis pick show in a couple of seasons, Dave, so we're bringing that back on Saturday.
Let's do it.
So that should be a good one. Please also make sure you catch all the content that we're doing here on ESSR. We've just had last week our Royal Best Moments show that we did right before the Rumble. Scott and Ross did a show about the corporation as well a couple of weeks ago. A lot of stuff in there in January, a lot of stuff to come. Please make sure you subscribe and catch it all. Dave, thank you once again for joining us today.
You know what? It's a real pleasure to this draft selection show. And you know what? I'm just pleased I got to ruffle a few feathers because after carrying the entire season on my back last season, I think I deserve to be roasting a few people this time around. And I've got a couple of Roscoe marshmallows at the end of my stick waiting to be cooked.
Yes, thanks for joining us as well. And of course, guys, if you want to take part in the Listeners League version of the draft, please message us individually or message us at Suplex Retweet on any of the socials, and we'll give you the details how to join. From myself, Stephen Wilson, have a lovely evening, and we will catch you next time. Have a good one.
Yeet!